Hi, good day to everyone. I am Mrs. Celerina Flores from BSc 3B major in Mathematics. I am here to discuss about Euler's Theorem. But before that, I want to share a brief biography who published a proof of Fermat's little theorem, which is the restriction of Euler's Theorem to the case where n is a prime number. He is Leonhard Euler. Leonhard Euler was born on April 15, 1707 in Basel, Switzerland. His father named Paul Euler and his mother named Margaret Brucker. His wife in 1734 to 1773 was Katharina Cell, and when his wife died, Euler had second wife in 1776 to 1783 until Euler's died was the half-sister of his first wife, which is Salome Abigail Cell. Euler had 13 children, but only 5 was survived. Euler was died on September 18, 1783 at the age of 76, and the cause of his death was in brain hemorrhage. Let us proceed to Euler's tangent function or pi function, which is included in formula of Euler's theorem. Pi function is the number of integers between 1 and n whose GCD or greatest common divisor with n is 1. Defined as to be the number of positive integers not exceeding n that are relatively prime to n. It is a very important number theoretic function having a deep relationship to prime numbers and so-called order of integers. The phi function of positive integer n greater than 1 is defined to be the number of positive integer less than n that are co-prime to n, pi 1 defined to be 1. We have rules in Euler tangent function or pi function. First, when n is a prime number, then pi n is equal to n minus 1. For example, pi 11 is equal to 11 minus 1 is equal to 10. Second, when a is equal to p raised to n minus p raised to n minus 1, where n is a prime power. For example, pi 8. 8 is equal to raised to the power of 3, so pi 8 is equal to 2 raised to the power of 3 minus 2 raised to the power of 2 is equal to 4. Third, when m and n are co-prime, then phi of m times n is equal to pi m times pi n. This is applicable in composite numbers. For example, pi 35 is equal to phi 7 times 5 is equal to pi 7 times phi 5 is equal to 7 minus 1 times 5 minus 1 is equal to 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Fourth, when the prime factorization of n is given by n, then pi n is equal to n times 1 minus 1 over p1 times 1 minus 1 over p2 and so on, 1 minus 1 over pk. For example, 14 is equal to 2 times 7. Pi 14 is equal to 14 times 1 minus 1 half times 1 minus 1 over 7. We use fraction 1 half and 1 over 7 because the denominator are 2 and 7, which are the factor of 14. Then pi 14 is equal to 6. Next is we proceed to Euler's theorem in number theory. Euler's theorem, also known as Fermat-Euler theorem or Euler's tangent theorem. It states that if n and a are co-prime positive integers and pi n is Euler's tangent function, then a raised to the power of pi n is congruent to 1 modulo n. That is like this one, which is our formula of Euler's theorem in number theory. I'll give you an example for more understanding on how to use it. Example number 1. We write the formula first. A raised to the power of pi n is congruent to 1 mod n. We let pi n is equal to n minus 1 and we assume that our a is equal to 5 and our n is equal to 3. So we substitute the value pi raised to the power of 2 is congruent to 1 mod 3 because 5 raised to the power of 2 is equal to 25. Then 25 divided by 3 is equal to 8 remainder 1. That's why 5 raised to the power of 2 is congruent to 1 mod 3. Next, we have example number 2. We write the formula again. A raised to the power of pi n is congruent to 1 mod n. So we let pi n is equal to n minus 1. We assume that a is equal to 7 and n is equal to 5. So we substitute the value. 7 raised to the power of 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5 because 7 raised to the power of 4 is equal to 2,401. Then 2,401 divided by 5 is equal to 48 remainder 1. That's why 7 raised to the power of 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5. That's all. Thank you and have a nice day.